Today is one of those days. You just wake up, you feel good. Our friend Alex Gasaway has a vision for a Star Wars themed video that she wants to release on May 4th. Today is just gonna be me. Hey.
What's up? Right now I'm figuring out what color to paint my room, and then I have to go to work. But you have fun. And try not to get stabbed by a lightsaber.
Can you get stabbed by a lightsaber? I think you're kind of annihilated if you encounter a lightsaber.
Well, don't get annihilated, I need you.
All right, fair enough. All right, we're in Los Feliz picking up Connie. It's Connie B.
Yeah. Hey, good to see you.
You too. We're here today in Claremont, of all places. We're here to fulfill Alex's vision for a Star Wars themed Sony versus Canon video. So what we want to do with this video is show a little behind the scenes of today, but also in part why we decided to go with Sony.
7 LA YouTubers who are all going to do a collaboration for a Star Wars Day video. Basically written a bit of a script, and really happy that they've all come down here and given up their time on a Sunday to shoot this with me.
Video that you're making today, what are you actually shooting on?
I'm shooting on the Sony A7 III.
So is that the big reveal, is that you ultimately chose a Sony camera?
No. It can even just be like 2 hits, but then I'll cut to close up and like 2 more hits. We're gonna be cutting a lot during all of this. No one needs to get hurt. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's like one of the main things that will look pretty decent on camera.
Can you show me that move again?
This one?
Alright, so I'm Connie, and yeah, I'm a YouTuber, creator, but also photographer. And this is my second Sony, actually. For me, with 120 frames per second and shooting in 4K, and for the price, what you get is unbeatable, really. And also the one thing that does annoy me, that annoys so many YouTubers about the Sony cameras, is that it doesn't have a flip-out screen.
From a physical therapist perspective, I would recommend that you keep the sticks together and jump, and don't try to swing and jump at the same time.
This already looks intense.
Okay,
Let's just start playing.
Elliot, so what are you thinking for us as far as battles? Should we watch a YouTube video on lightsabering and come up with a dope sequence?
I said we gotta make ours the best. We
Yeah,
just
I
gotta
think
we
so.
gotta be jumping, we gotta make it just like, I wanna do some wall jumps. I wanna make this crazy, man.
Awesome.
We gotta make this
I'm
movie
down.
quality. Like
I'm down.
episode 9, man.
When all else fails, consult with YouTube. So part of what makes this camera so rad is the slow-mo feature. You can shoot at 120 frames per second. Canon doesn't have that, not until you get to the more cinematic upper tier cameras. Those are a lot more expensive. Here's what the slow-mo could do on the Sony camera.
It'd be cool if you came up with like a couple unique things, you know, especially for you guys, because it's gonna be like the main gig.
Right.
The hardest thing for you guys is gonna be when you're on the stairs. And I'll pan from Connie and Armando to you guys on the stairs.
Thank you.
And then I'm gonna pick Armando and Connie back up. So this is your toughest part.
Do it as fast as you can. Ready? So it's gotta go 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm already ready for you. So my name is Armando. I have a YouTube channel called MondoBytes. I film with a Canon C200 and also a Canon USR. The reason being that I shoot with the C200 is because it has everything that I need. Built-in ND filters, built-in XLRs. It has one of the most amazing autofocuses, which is dual pixel autofocus, and the Canon USR matches that really well. So working with both cameras, I really don't have to do anything in post. The word cinematic gets thrown around a lot. I think you can get cinematic footage with just about any camera, really. It comes down to like the color grading and style that you do.
So this is just to show you what the autofocus can do on this Sony camera.
And you like fall back, and you fall back.
No, I mean...
For the kick. Yeah. So regular speed, and then we'll just
Going for a mood, and then she kicks it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you want me to snap out of it, sort of like...
Video, which I knew would never happen, was Peter McKinnon to make the sound effect.
Leave a link down below, $5.99, Star Wars sound pack, ready? First one, lightsaber. Whoa!
Yes, $5.99.
If you want the TIE fighter, no, I'm just kidding.
Oh, you don't have a flip out screen. That's ironic.
Nice. Exactly the point. So we're here with This Is Tech Today to solve the mystery once and for all. Sony or Canon?
Panasonic? I actually like this one a lot more. It has a lot of the benefits from Canon and Sony. There is a ton of features that are built into the Panasonic for a great value, and it has that flip out screen. I think the colors on the Panasonic are quite good. It's not quite as good as Canon though.
For a long time I was vlogging on the A6500.
This camera right here.
Yep, and I found that I was vlogging a lot more and talking to camera more when I used my phone. I was like way too intimidated to pull this out, like my whole big setup, as often, especially like on the skateboard and stuff. So like on weekends when I would just be hanging out with friends and going to the beach and doing all this stuff, I would vlog almost all of it on my phone, and people were loving those vlogs. So I'm using the GoPro to do talking stuff.
So that looks something like this.
Yep. And then I use the A7 III to do all my B-roll.
You're right, not as intimidating. So
It's not.
So what Sony is this? The real question is,
Yes.
what are we shooting this big Star Wars vision of yours on?
Yes.
Canon or Sony?
We are shooting this entire video on the Sony A7 III. Yes.
There it is. So we've reached that golden hour period. A lot of this footage you're about to see is all shot under low light situation. So here's what this camera can do in somewhat low light situation at golden hour.
This is the most horribly wonderful thing I've ever seen.
Okay.
There's even like the planters and ledges and stuff right there.
Yeah.
This is the ISO at 800. This is the ISO at 1600 and at 3200.
So Spencer, what camera do you use?
So I'm using, for all intents and...
I wasn't ready. Okay. I was excited.
So for all YouTube purposes, I'm using the Canon M50. I use it for my travel vlogs, for vlogging on the daily, basically because it's so portable and light, and the lens system is so compact. You can just basically, and cheap, you can get all of their lenses for the Canon EF-M system, and you know, you're not going to break the bank. It's so portable. It's just super handy. I love it.
How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I'm going to compensate with the autofocus system. How about that? There we go. They even out.
You need one portion where you're kind of in the middle of the stairs, and then the next portion is you finishing off the stairs. I'm following behind you, building you out of the stairs.
Okay, so we'll cut like in the middle.
So this is almost completely dark. This is what the low light looks like on the 65 Sony. Not too bad. We're at that 1600 ISO. Also, I have the autofocus on, so if it's hunting right now, it doesn't do the best in low light.
Does that make sense? Anyone have any questions? Yep. I'm excited.
Come on!
Right.
Okay.
And transformed, and you just go right here.
Oh, that's
block
right,
the
'cause
shot,
she's blocking this.
And action.
Come on, come on!
That was great. Jonathan?
Am I in your frame?
Yeah.
Cold and my leg is cramping. And I'll go up to the edge, and then I'll actually like shout, Canon colors are better.
Yep.
Do we really have to do this?
You can hear the thump. Watch.
Really?
Yeah, watch. Here,
That's what we all heard.
Do we really have to do this?
It's now total darkness outside. Here's some 800 ISO footage on this prime lens at a 1.4 aperture.
Oh, what does that mean? Hans YOLO. What?
That is the appropriate emoji.
Should I just leave it alone?
Oh, the bright one. Make it
Which
red,
one?
kind of.
Oh, Cairo?
That one.
Yeah.
Really clear.
Yeah.
This is like the last one.
Canon colors are better!
I need to
If I come down here.
I need to have
3, 2, 1, ignite.
Oh, that's so cool.
Done, we're done.
We good? Why is your hood on?
I was going for a mood.
With fucking metal melting. I'm just kidding. That looks so good.
Low light. Flip screen! So, there you have it. Canon, Sony. That's why we decided to go with Sony. 4K, slow-mo, lightweight, workflow is great. All said and done, we chose the Sony.